much. Abel, before we kind of dive into the movie, what inspired you to get into writing and directing?
That's a good question. I grew up in a creative period in the 60s, and I was lucky enough to, come from, my family wasn't from a creative side, but they were very supportive, and we went to school in kind of a small town, and where it was just very supportive and very, the education was towards, I was taught art, I was taught literature and I was taught movies, well, even at a young age, other than, being like any kid being in love with TV and films, but it was taught to me as a discipline. And music I guess was our first attempt at being creative, but I didn't really have the talent for it, I had the love for it. I still play, but when we picked up the camera and I was with friends of mine who were also, you know, bent on expressing themselves in some way, shape, or form. It was like the discipline that, we had a gift for. And so nothing's changed. It's just like I'm 16, only I'm not 16.
Who were some of your early influences when you first started writing and directing?
Well, music, this was the 60s. This was like Stones, John Lennon, Dylan, and kind of switched to the blues guys, that kind of led us to the source of it, you know what I mean? Robert Johnson, Sonny Boy Williamson. Film wise, we watching American movies, just kind of, you know, in the beginning, I didn't even know who the directors were. We just liked the movies. And then once we started making them, we became pretty into it. And at a certain point, we realized it was like movies other than American movies. So, I was influenced by a lot of movie directors. I'm like, I try to find something in all of them that can help me.
You wrote and direct Zero Ones about an American soldier stationed in Rome with the Vatican blown up, embarks on a hero's journey to uncover and defend against an unknown enemy threatening the entire world. What inspired you to write and also direct this story?
Inspiration is a funny thing, man. This is what I do. I make movies. We live in a moment and we try to, we're filmmakers, and so, in the period right before it, we were shooting documentaries. I was shooting That Neighborhood as a documentary. The events that happened. I think this movie's unlike the last few movies I've been making. It's kind of like has I don't know, like the echo of other movies, like you're saying, with movies that inspired me when I was a kid. Kind of movies I remember. American Soldiers, you know what I mean? Spies, Nighttime, all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
And in the preparation for the film, did you work with any military experts to kind of hone in on some of that within your
Yeah,
film?
well, the guy that played his partner is, the next military guy, Phil Nielsen. So he's, he's actually in it. So, and so that has that bit in it. And then Ethan's brother is in the, he's a Green Beret. So Ethan has some kind of firsthand knowledge of the thing. And the other side of it, it's like what the the American GI is iconic character in motion pictures, Italian soldiers too, so it's like those were the ones. And the spies and espionage and counter espionage. And
Speaking of Ethan Hawke, what made you want to cast him as your lead?
why not? Everything about him. I've known him a long time. We've always wanted to work together. you know, he has a real special quality, and he has the courage to throw himself into these kind of projects. And he's not afraid to come where he's got to bring. He's got to bring it. Bring. In this case, he's writing a lot of his, a lot of poetry of it. He's writing creating just the environment of it.
You shot the entire film kind of throughout the pandemic. What was that like, and what were some of the big obstacles that you faced while shooting it?
Not getting killed, not dying. Not killing the people you love. That's the biggest obstacle. It was non-vax. We had to just, I knew we had to make a movie. It's like anybody else during the pandemic. You're going to live in quarantine the rest of your life. You're going to have to figure out a way to survive and a way to do your thing, So we just kept it real, The actors wore masks. The actors, used the fucking hand gel. We did it, that's what these scenes are in the movie. We just respected, the crew was small and we shot quick, but still everybody in that crew had to care about each other, that they're not going to get them, start doing any kind of crazy shit when we're not working. Everybody was tested and, thank God nothing, nobody got sick.
When somebody watches zeros and ones, what do you want them to take away from it?
I don't, they're going to take away what they're going to take away. So I don't even have any desire or expectation that way. I just hope they watch the movie with a fucking open mind and, rock and roll with it and go with it and not, try to connect dots that don't connect and, expect stories that the filmmakers aren't giving you, or, just take your normal, what you would think in a movie like this and just forget it. Just experience the movie, just let yourself go for it, trust yourself. Don't watch it from a point of view of outside the experience. You don't have to figure it out. There's nothing to figure out. You don't have to have an opinion on it. You do probably because you're a critic or you're a journalist, but most people buy a ticket and let the journalists do their gig. You just rock and roll with it. That's what you get for buying a ticket. You don't have to write about it. You don't have to have an opinion on it. Just experience it.